Okay, welcome to Bitrix Live. I'm Damien Edwards, Commercial Manager of Bitrix24 Partners Interface. We are Bitrix Gold Partners. We're based in the UK and we have offices in the US and Dubai. And we are able to manage all your implementation support, so including training, customization, and ongoing support packages. So send us questions. With me I've got Andy Naylor, our support manager.
Hi, so yeah, we're here for the next hour and we can answer, like I said, any questions that you may have on Bitrix, and we can show you live on screen any solutions to those answers. So put them in the box provided on YouTube, and if you do have any questions that you can think of in the week, please do email us to live@intraface.com and we can pick up those questions next week. So like Damien said, we're here every Thursday at 10 AM Eastern Time.
Okay, I think we were going to start with a quick look at Facebook integration. We can probably have a look at how that works in Bitrix.
Yeah, definitely. So what we can do is, we had a question that came in earlier on in the week, and it was to do with the Facebook ads. And if we go into, so you can see at the moment I'm in a cloud version of Bitrix, and if we go into the contact center, what we can do is we can basically attach a CRM web form to one of your Facebook ads. So that will, if I just open up Facebook, actually, let's just open up the Facebook ad center, and I'll be able to just show you an example of what I mean. So if we go to advertising on Facebook and just scroll down a little bit, I'll just show you, I think on here we do have, I just wondered if there was an example on here. I don't think there's going to be. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go, there's the example. So you can see on here, this one of the examples on Facebook, is that you can have a button that you click, and on that Facebook ad it will pop up with a form, and what Bitrix allows you to do is use their form that you create in your CRM, and they can populate that, and therefore it will trigger and generate a lead. So the first thing that you need to do really is go into the CRM and create a web form. So if you click into CRM on the left hand side, click into CRM forms, and then what we can do is add a new form. So let's just, for example, on this case, select Facebook lead ad, and we can give it a title. So we can say, let's have a think what we could do this on. We could say a 10-hour webinar.
Yep.
Webinar.
Good one.
And this is, we can give it a little description. Interested in every Monday at 11 AM EST. So what we could do here is, on the right hand side we have the ability to add some form fields into this form. So what we want in this case is to generate a lead. So what we want their first name and their last name, and we also want an email address. So I think email will be in here, and we might want their phone number, just for an example. So we can change the names of these form fields here. So instead of name, we could put first name. I can't spell. I can make it a required field if we want. But you can see here, first name, last name, email.
And we change those by clicking, can you do that again?
Yeah.
Clicking the settings. All right. What other options do we have on the fields?
So
I have like a placeholder, like a greyed out text, or a default value, which would automatically populate unless it's changed. Verify as, don't verify. Oh, I see, right, okay, so you can, if it's a phone field or email field, you can automatically verify that is actually one of those types.
Yeah, so you probably want to do that, wouldn't you, on verify as email, so it's automatically found that it's the email field.
Okay.
And it should automatically verify his phone. So it gives some validation to the form itself.
Preventing some spam.
So we can specify who's going to be the responsible person for when this lead form gets submitted. In our case, it's going to be Max Smith. And we have quite a lot of other criteria in here. So we have, we're going to have it generating a lead. We can have it, if the contact or lead already exists in the CRM, we can update that particular contact, or we can allow duplicates. And there's quite a lot of other fields in here that we can specify. If you did want it to be on your embedded on your website, then we would usually recommend to use some of your own CSS styling, and we can redirect to a page on your site. So I'm going to click on Save. And then, so you can see here, Facebook lead ad. We're going to click on Enable, so the form has been enabled. And then let's go back to the contact center. And what we're going to do is we want to use that form in one of your Facebook ads. So we click into here, and you can now see that we have the form that we've just created available. So if I click on Facebook lead, then the first thing that you need to do is connect your Facebook account. So if I click on connect, and do you know your login? No. So let's have it. Let's see if I can. I'm not 100% sure.
So that would be that Facebook would take you through those steps.
Let me just see if I can just spell my email wrong. So let me just see if I can try once more in here. See if I can log in. No, I can't connect my, I can't remember my login to Facebook. So, but what you would need to do is you would need to connect to your page, and then what you can do is it will pull the details of that form, and then all you would need to do is go to your Facebook advertising platform here, so you can see business/ads, create an ad, and what it will allow you to do, it will allow you to use that form that you selected inside Bitrix to place inside that advert. There is an option, I think it's in the bottom left-hand corner of the advertising, you can select that form.
Yeah, and this sort of stuff, if you do it, I mean, it's fairly straightforward to set up, I think, especially if you speak to a partner. But this sort of stuff, if you do it right, can save you considerable amounts of time. But kind of more importantly, it means you can respond to inquiries from customers really, instantly, and that's what people are expecting. So when they fill this form out, they want it to get a response straight away. We can build in automatic responses to. We can build automatic responses in, but or you can automatically assign it to somebody who can respond.
Yeah, I mean, what you could do is this. So we've created a form, and let's say we've connected this to Facebook. We've created an ad inside Facebook. So when they click on that attend webinar button, our form will pop up. They'll fill in the information on that form, and then what it will do, because of our form settings, we said it's going to create a new lead. What we could do, as Damien mentioned then, we might want an autoresponder on that. So we come into the CRM and come into leads. Then we click into the automation rules. And what we can automatically do is configure the automation rules here. Click on add and click on client communications. And what we could do is saying, thanks for registering then we could say hello in the email that we're automatically sending back. Click on the three little dots to the right hand side. We can then say, we can pull in any field on here. So we could pull in the name field. I think if we can find it on there. Let's just pull in lead name, for example. So you could say that, and then we could write whatever we wanted in here. We could also put a condition on here to only trigger it when that particular form gets submitted. So it won't send it to all leads that get generated. We could click into source here, source equals, and click into here. You can see, I mean, maybe that we have, we've got a CRM form. Click on select. So this will only get submitted when the CRM form gets submitted. You click on here, and we can drag that to the top on there. And we could get rid of those.
Yeah, that's really good. We've had a related question in about how to add or is it possible to add a calendar to a form? Now this is a new feature which I've not done before, but let's see if we can do it. I think we add the field in the lead first of all. Let's see if we can do that. No, maybe it's not lead. We're looking for a field.
We are in cloud site here. I don't know if.
Let's have a look in this one. Not too sure whether it's lead. It might actually be deals. Let's have a look in this one. So first you need to add the field. There's a new field available. Not booking time. Let's have a quick look in that. No, it's not that. So we're looking deals. I forget what the field's called, but when we see it, it will become obvious, I think. So this is a brand new feature that allows you to create a field and then make that field, that calendar, available inside. Actually, I think it actually must be contacts.
I'm not sure.
So look in contacts, we'll find it. We're gonna have to look at the Bitrix web post. No, I don't think. I think it's probably beaten us. But essentially, you can add. So a quick look in leads again. You can add a field into. You can create a custom field inside a lead, I believe, and that allows you to then populate a form, a public web form, with your calendar, and users can then see when you're available and when you're free, and they can select slots inside that calendar. But yeah, I don't know, not too sure where it is. So it's not something I've done before, but it's a brand new feature. But we can, I can have a look, and we can try and come back to it.
Could you create a custom field for that? So if we went into our form report settings custom field,
let's add a custom field in a lead and see whether it's available.
Because it's called resources, isn't it?
Resource, yeah, that's it. Book a resource, that's it. So it's, yeah. Okay. Okay, you've done that. You've done that hard bit for me. So we go into CRM forms. We should be able to make that field available in our form now. Sales inquiry. Let's edit this form. We added it to lead, I believe. So it should be available in here. Book a resource. So you can see this is a little bit different to a standard field. So we can see it brings in various fields. It's bringing in some dates and then some time slots inside those dates. Let's have a look at what that looks like on the form itself. It's not showing. If we got it enabled, see if there's some further settings. I think essentially there's a very good blog post from Bitrix on this, so it might be that we need to go through that and you can go through that. I think it's there's actually quite a lot you can do in terms of configuring which calendars are made available from which users and things. So and some parameters around what you allow people to book in and things. So that's it. I think that's it. So we've not selected any calendars. The sort of time slots. See what that looks like. It's better. Okay, so yeah, so you've selected 3 or 4 calendars, so that means that I can now select. So if I'm going for a hair appointment, I can select my stylist in here, John. I can select my duration. So if I want a 2-hour slot, and I can choose. So this is really, really good. So I can choose my date, and then I'll get to see. In this example, the calendars are not populated, so I seem to have every slot available. But that's really good for a lot of businesses to allow. It cuts out. It cuts out all that manual admin you need to do to book appointments, but it just makes it so much simpler for the customer to.
Yeah, I think a good use is it. For example, we do demonstrations here for clients or potential clients, and basically, if you wanted to book a demonstration with one of the sales guys, then we could put the sales guys' calendars on here, and they can see the available demo time slots on the site. So,
and I guess as soon as this is submitted, I don't know whether there's an approval process. I'm guessing there actually isn't an approval process. You probably build it in though, so that the slot becomes available, and you send an email to say that or maybe you'd need to temporarily make the slot unavailable whilst it gets approved. If it's not approved, the slot could become available again. But I think as standard, that will book a 2-hour slot for John White's calendar on this date at this time, so automatically. So yeah, it's a new feature. It's really good. It's simple to set up when you know how. Yeah. So put your questions in on the chat box. We've got slightly shorter today. We've got about 20 minutes left, so we're slightly shorter than an hour today. So if you've got any questions at all, please add them there. As our contact details, if you've got questions afterwards, then go there. To receive a notification when we go live, you need to subscribe to Bitrix24 on YouTube. So I think that's YouTube/Bitrix24. Subscribe to them, and you will receive an email when we're live. But we're live at the same time every week, usually for an hour. But also subscribe to Interface on YouTube as well.
So we had a question about what is the purpose of extranet users, and it's quite a common question that we get. And you can get extranet users, can't you? On which packages do the extranet come on? I think it's the paid packages, isn't it?
The extranets. You don't get extranet users on the free package at all. You don't get extranet users on the basic CRM self-hosted package. So you've got to be on one of the standard cloud packages or the business self-hosted packages. But with one of those packages, you get unlimited numbers of extranet users. So you could have a 50. The self-hosted, it's priced by numbers of users. On the business 50, you get 50 users, but unlimited extranet users. I think on the cloud, you get unlimited users anyway, so it's different.
So the purpose of an extranet user is so you can invite them into an extranet work group or an extranet project. So if I click onto the work groups tab here, you can see that we can create an external work group where we can invite our extranet users into, or an external project, which is really good to collaborate with your client on a particular project that you're working on. Like Damien said, you may have 500 projects and 1,000 clients that you're inviting in. There's no extra charge on any of the packages for these users. And the good thing about what these work groups and projects have is they have a vaster range of tools. So we have project management tools such as the tasks side of Bitrix. We have the ability to store and share documents, and the client can get access to those as well. And we have all the features along the top. And the good thing as well is that they can take advantage of the live chat, so they can go on the site and I can have a discussion with one of our extranet users here. I can send Verity a message, and then we can collaborate together on whatever it is that we're working on.
We can video call as well. I think we can video call and
so you can video call, voice call, live chat, and then if we go back to the actual project, like I say, it's these features that an extranet user will be able to access. They won't be able to access any of your business modules, such as the CRM or email or
HR, booking leave forms, things like that.
Your internal modules are completely secure, completely safe. Your clients will never be able to access those. It's the built-in permissions that Bitrix comes with that stops that.
So I have a question here. I've got a very serious issue with telephony in my country. Hope you guys can help me. But that's all we have. So if you tell us what your issue is, we'll try and help. But it might not be that serious. It might be quite simple. But we are dealing with telephony. You are quite often dealing with external pieces of hardware and software. So sometimes getting those to work together. Sometimes it's simple. It's different ways of doing it. You can do a very simple. You can bind your number to Bitrix very, very simply. So you can continue to use your existing phone system and everything and pay them the normal way you do for calls. You can bind your number to Bitrix. You can forward calls and things to Bitrix, and you can make and receive calls inside of Bitrix. It's quite easy to do. Second option is to rent, as we're looking at here, to rent a number from Bitrix and just use the built-in telephony inside Bitrix. So receive calls in Bitrix and make calls outside of the built-in telephone system that Bitrix is. That if you want to do that from a desktop phone, you can do that. You can get a USB phone, plugs into the computers on users' desks, and they can pick the phone up in the normal way. So that's quite an easy way to do it. The last way, and we've got a webinar on this on Monday which go into a bit more detail, but the last way is to use the apps to integrate with your phone system. So if you're using Asterix, their common system, then that's quite straightforward. Another one that's just relatively straightforward is Free PBX and 3CX. We have integration pre-built for those. They're not available on here, but we have it pre-built. We can provide that to you. Ring Central, that we've tried that. Do you have any problems with that, or was that okay?
No, that's okay. We have quite a lot of clients on the Ring Central, and the good thing is, again, there's no differentiation between the cloud version of Bitrix and the on-premise. We can use all these apps on either.
Okay, can you give me an example of set state name in business process? Can it use for status such as pending or complete? Set state name. So this is a state-driven business process, I guess, isn't it? Should we have a quick look? Where would you find a state-driven business process?
I think if you go to the documents in a work group.
Work groups. So you want set state name. So you can just change the status using a business process of something, and you can choose to name that. Drive. No, got it. Configure business processes. So in this drive, the business process is not enabled, so I need to configure it. When it refreshes, then I'll have my list of business processes, or this page will be available. I can install the business processes, and I've got the option now to create a new one. So you've got the option to create a sequential or a state-driven business process. So sequential is essentially a sequential business process follows from a start to an end point. Various things can happen in the middle, and you can loop round, and you can have conditions that make different things happen depending on certain outcomes. State-driven business process will have a series of these processes running at the same time. Save that. Okay. So you add your states here. You can call your state anything you want. So it might be that you do it on a document. The state might be pending approval, one state might be approved, one state might be deleted or something like that. Those might be your 3 states. When you change the state from one to another, it will trigger the process that sits behind that state. So I don't know if we've got other examples of when you'd use a state-driven apart from on documents. I think mostly in documents, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the good example what Bitrix has, isn't it, is the one that you installed at the top there. So approved document with states.
Okay, so they're similar to, like I said, draft, approved and publishing. So draft, approval and publishing. And then if we click into one of these, if we click into here, you can see the process of this one. Obviously that actually just changes the state of it. But that process could be more complex, of course. Lost it now. Okay. But I mean, if you want to get in touch with what you want to achieve on that process, we can help you set it up for you.
Yeah, I think we've got, like I say, Damien said, we're going to be online for the next 10 minutes. So please do get any questions in. I think we may have just a couple more that came in at the end of last week. And if you do have questions in the week, do send them to live@intraface.com and we can pick them up.
Yeah, no follow-up from the question about telephone issue. I mean, there is, you mentioned having a telephone issue in your country. There is, you know, you're all bound by different rules in different countries, but you know, I think you can rent a number in Bitrix in about 100 different countries. So you can't rent a number always if you're not operating or resident of the country you want to rent a number from. So, but the country that you exist in, you operate a business in, that's straightforward. I think some countries, like I think particularly the UK where we are, you can actually rent a number in the UK whether you're in the US or anywhere in Europe or anywhere in the world really. In Ireland you can't. Some other countries like Germany I think you can't. So there's all sorts of different local regulations. So you could let us know your issue. We can try and fix that.
Yeah, one of the questions that came through actually only earlier today was just, I mean, it's quite a simple question, but one that's commonly asked is that if you do have a current CRM, so if you're using another CRM, then how do you get that information into Bitrix? Now, it's pretty straightforward if you know where it is. We would always recommend importing your companies first. So you can see, click into companies. And what I would do is make sure you create all your custom fields first inside Bitrix. And then what we can do is click on the little gear icon and click on export companies to CSV. That will get you your template. And then what you can do is simply click on import. If I just download an example here, so if I click on downloads and company and scroll down, then what happens is the left hand side are your column headers and the right hand side are the fields that exist in Bitrix. So generally when I do it, quite a lot of them are blank because the column header is named differently. But all you're essentially doing here is mapping the column headers to your fields in Bitrix. Click on next, and then what we can do is we can import all, so it doesn't matter if they exist already. We can replace existing, we could merge, which is essentially updating, which is a great way to bulk update your companies. And it's based on these 3 fields, so the company name, the company phone number and company email. So if you've got those columns in your spreadsheet, then that's what essentially this control here is going to be matched on. And this process is exactly the same for contacts and for leads and deals as well.
Yeah. How can I edit an existing task from a business process? So let's have a look, see if that's available. It's certainly available to modify an item, or a CRM item in a business process. We'll just see whether, because automation in tasks is quite new, So is there a rule that allows us to edit, change edit task? Okay, so select the field. There we go. So we can put a condition in if we need to, and we can select the field. So let's say it would be deadline. So you could select a specific deadline. Or can you select a date in 5 days from current date? That's quite good. 5 days before start date, things like that. Exact start date, local time, things like that. Or you could bring in a date from something else. Let's say somebody fills out a form, and you need to bring that date in that they've put in that form to then populate the deadline date, a new deadline date on the task. So yeah, you can do it. Straightforward. So you go into your automation tab and then into the rules.
Yeah, I think just while we're in task automation is that every user has their own My Plan up here. So this is your planner side of Bitrix, and these statuses are unique for you who you're currently logged in as. If Damien was to then log in as himself, his planner would be unique to him. So you can put your automation rules on your own planner. You can also put automation rules on projects. So if you've got managing multiple projects inside Bitrix, like if I clicked on our Toy Bomb project, you can see here we have 3 stages. But if I then go into MicroMoz, they've got the same 3, but we haven't changed them. But you can create, so you can see here we're in Buzzco project, and it's got 5 different stages, and it allows you to manage each individual project in its own unique way. So you set these up when you set the project up, you set up your own stages for your project, and then you set up your automation for each stage. So going back to the question about editing, it may be that when you move it into development, the deadline moves 7 days. So it gives the developer 7 days to be able to develop and work on that particular task.
How do you reference a list item from task automation? See if that's available. It might not be. I'm guessing it's not.
So you can read list item.
Where does it say that? Read list item. All right. Okay. So presumably, I don't know what that does. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that does. Maybe we can populate that field with it. Do populate a new field within the task with that list item. Don't know exactly.
What is it?
Maybe you can select the list and then the field within that list, and yeah, not too sure exactly how that works. But you can test that, of course, and you can see what result you get from it. But it looks like you should be able to do what you want to do. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. If there's no more questions, we're a bit shorter today. We'd normally do 1 hour, which we will do next week at the same time at 10 AM Eastern Time. And so just subscribe to Bitrix24 on YouTube and you'll receive a notification. So
yeah, and please do get in touch with us, like I say, live at intraface.com and or myself, Andy at intraface.com. And if you do need any demonstrations of Bitrix or you need to know any information about Bitrix, please do get in touch with us. We can answer any questions for you.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your time. See you next time.
Thank you.